I have been given the absolute honor of being a Magic the Gathering ambassador for this set. So Wizards of the Coast very, very, very sweetly sent me all of these Lorwyn Eclipsed cards packs for me to open. The pre-release is next week, Friday, on my birthday, so I'm choosing to pretend that this whole set is a birthday present for me, and that this is also a birthday present for me. So we are going to open this birthday present together and see if we can get... I've never pulled a serialized card. I don't know if I ever will, but it'd be really cool if I could. And there is a serialized card that you can get in this set. You can sell them on the box, may include serialized cards, so here's hoping. So, collector boosty time. Let's see if I can... I want to make sure all of these gorgeous arts... If you haven't looked at much of the spoilers, there are a few different art types you can get. So the Fable frame is the folk story, kind of storybook looking one. The paper cut, and then there's the Japan showcase ones, which I don't know if I've opened a set since they've started doing that, because I want to say that came out in Final Fantasy, and I didn't really do Final Fantasy. I didn't really open Final Fantasy, so I don't have any of those. But I am going to open these with scissors because the internet was very upset about that one Spider-Man collector booster I opened with my hands. So I'm not making that mistake again. First pack. Okay, so we got Changeling Wayfinder. I do like how many changelings there are in this set. I wanted to build a... Ooh, I love that. Merfolk. A changeling typal, or like a shapeshifter typal, because there are so many in this set. You could do it because it has decent support from other sets as well, but I don't think I'd be able to pull it off. So these are all just the commons and uncommons. Ooh, this is the Fable treatment in a foil, of course, as all of these in this in the collector boosters will be foil. I do love the elementals in this set. Crib swap with a changeling baby. Pretty of Plains. Oh, that wasn't even... We haven't even hit the good stuff yet. That was just a fun bonus card we had. I do want to pull all of the special treatments and, I don't know, do something special with that. So, what's behind the plains? It's a mirror form. Exile a non-land permanent you control, becomes a top copy of... Oh my god, I'm having a stroke. I did have a tiny nap earlier, but it did not help me. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent. That seems really, really good. The lands are gorgeous, aren't they? Ooh, Abundant Countryside. Okay, you get one colorless or one mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell, or create a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. That's very pretty. Shadow Urchin. Oh, that looks sick with the colors boosted like that. Does anyone know how to pronounce this word? I looked it up, but I forgot. There are two of these creature type in this set. There's a Simic one and there's this one. I don't want to just say oof, because that feels disrespectful in a Roblox kind of way. Oofa or oofa? Oof-eh? Something like that. Which I did look up because I was curious what it was, and it's just like a little... It's just basically a little guy. Like a little goblin or a little like sprite or a little gnome thing. It's just like generic little guy. A little guy without a category. And honestly, same. I identify as this little man. What's behind? We got a Blood Crypt. I play a lot in these colors, whether it's just Rakdos or like mixed with other things. So my decks are going to be having a fight over which deck gets this. Gorgeous, gorgeous Shockland. It looks so spooky, and I'm a spooky girl, so... And then... Our very first pack, we get the Shatterfoil, am I saying that right? Shatterfoil Meek attack in the Japanese treatment. That's so good. Okay, let's see what this card actually does. You may put a creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice that creature. And this is enchantment, so you can do that anytime you have one in a red. So that seems pretty good. It is indeed pronounced oof. I'm not just brain rot. I have just been brain rotted. Thanks, Rob. All right, next pack. Okay, Evolving Wilds. Dream Caesar. Rob, I just saw a reel from you about this, didn't I? About the fairies going in your ears. Chaos Spewer. I don't like that we're encouraging the goblin players here. I like this guy. I don't know why I've attached to him so much, this creepy moth guy, especially as a person who hates moths, but I have kind of attached myself to this creature and I like him a lot. Eclipsed Boggart, which Boggarts are just a fancy word for goblins. Another gorgeous forest. Now there's a Shadowmoor and a Lorwyn version of each of these. So this is the Shadowmoor one. Let's get these out of the way and see what's hiding behind it. Hexings, the bastard man. Bastard man goblin. I know this is going to be such a problem. I'm like me playing against this eventually. And he's cheap enough. I don't know much about standard. I feel like he's cheap enough and he's red that he's gonna be big in standard. His other art, I don't know if we'll pull it, is very pretty and I can't help but love him. But bastard man. Ooh, Sinister Gnarlbark. The beginning of your end step, draw a card and play one. I didn't read what this does. So here's why he got such a big negative reaction from me. This spell can't be countered. Ward, pay 2 life. Spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward, pay 2 life. So imagine somebody has like 40 goblins on their board and they all have ward 2 life. You can't do anything about it. You can't counter anything. Kranko comes in, you can't counter him. Oh, did I say a specific deck? Yes, there is a specific deck I'm worried about with this card. And I know he knows about this one because I actually showed it to him. I asked him if he's going to play it. So I'm going to see this at my game store soon. So we saw our Gnarlbark. I'm interested in trying the Blight mechanic. One of the precons features it, so. Ooh. Tristan's Command. It's an elf. Or an elf sorcery, so we got the kindred sorceries back. Choose 2, create a token that's a copy of target elf you control. Return one or two target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Destroy target creature or enchantment. Creatures target player controls get +3/+3 until end of turn. Untap them. So that you could do some politics with that. If you're like, hey, I can make your creatures +3/+3 till end of turn if you don't hit me this turn or something like that. Do some politicking. Ooh. A Hallowed Fountain. Is this the double-sided one? It is. Oh, look how pretty that is. This, like, it's almost like, I don't know what side I'd want to play it on because I love kind of like the night vibes of it, the glowing fountain, but also look how pretty that is. It's so beautiful. I'm trying to think of trying to decide what type I'd like to build from this. I have to flip it each turn, yeah. What type I want to build, like what typal deck. Because I feel like if you're going to build a typal deck, this is the set for it. I wonder if Merfolk would be a good one, because Merfolk come in this color in this set. For the most part, I believe. They're blue and white. So, and then I can play this gorgeous, gorgeous card. And then, oh, there was one more card. Okay, that's a lot of words, and yes, I will read them. At the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of those colors, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards, then shuffle. You may cast exile cards this turn. That's a lot of words. I do like that we're getting, if you haven't read the story of Lorwyn, you don't have to read it, actually. They have a podcast. You can listen to the Magic Story podcast on Spotify, and I don't know if they're also on like all the other ones as well. But you could have someone read the story to you, and the main cast is a bunch of Strixhaven students. So not to look too far ahead, but that's fun and exciting. All right, next pack. Brambleback Brute. We have a solid amount of giants in this set if you want to do giant typal, or if you have a giant typal and would like to upgrade it. There are a few blue goblins. All right, well, you got another one. Ooh, Eclipsed Murrow. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a merfolk, plains, or island from among them. Put it into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. So, seems good. More giants. Here's our elementals again. The other precon is elemental type with some evoke, I think, in it. I haven't opened those up yet, but I'm definitely gonna play with them before I take them apart. Okay, here's the good stuff. Bree of Clan Stout Arm, another long one. So 1 and a white, another target creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying the mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Okay. Ooh. Ashling the Limitless. This is the commander for the Elemental Commander deck, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to spoil any of the further cards. And do they? No, they don't. They just have one side for now. Beautiful. Elemental spells you cast from your hand have evoke 4, so I was right about the evoke. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste until end of turn. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay Wooburg. So I do have an elemental deck right now, but it's only in 3 colors. So I think I'm gonna leave that one alone because it's the first deck I've ever made like on my own. But it will be fun to play it all in 5 colors. People who know me know I love a 5-color deck. All right, ooh, Harmonized Crescendo, Convoke. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Seems good. Grub. Storied Monarch. Matriarch. Menace, whenever this creature enters or transforms, return up to 1 target goblin card from your graveyard to hand. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay red. If you do, transform Grub to Notorious Auntie. Lots of words on these cards, lots of reading. Whenever Grub attacks, you may blight 1. If you do, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the blighted creature, except it has at the beginning of the end step. Sacrifice this token. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay black. If you do, transform her back. All right. Hey, we've seen this before in this pack. If I can get it to focus. And is the last one. The full art and a foil. And then we have, what card is that? Wistfulness. I do love me an art card. Ooh, Stalactite Dagger. Another shapeshifter card. Okay, so this creates a shapeshifter with changeling, so it's every creature type, and then it buffs something and make it all creature types. Sorry, I had a little bit of a stroke there, I think. Mischievous Sneakling. He's just a sneaky little guy. This is a good set for little guys. Buffers in real time, yeah. Listen, I haven't worked a full day Friday in over a month. Like, I had so much PTO saved up, I took half-day Fridays all since Thanksgiving. So this was hard for me, and you should be very proud. Boulder Dash. I just put that together, like Boulder Dash. That's funny. Ooh, Boggart Cursecrafter in the Fable treatment. Death Touch, whenever another goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Got the Swamp. A Shadowmoor Swamp. Ooh, Tristan Callous Cultivator. When this creature enters or transforms into Tristan Callous Cultivator, mill 3 cards, then if there's an elf in your graveyard, gain a life. And then you can transform him, no peeking, into, it's trying to focus on this. Tristan Pentant Color. This creature transforms, mill 3 cards, and then you may exile an elf card from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life. He seems cool. Burnt Return. Put 1, 2, or 3 creature cards from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Each of them enters with an additional -1/-1 counter on them. Ooh, Deepway Navigator for my Merfolk deck. When this creature enters, untap each other Merfolk you control. As long as you've attacked with 3 or more Merfolk this turn, Merfolk get +1/+0. I think right now, if I'm remembering correctly, there's only one good Merfolk commander in these colors, but we'll have to wait and see. Exile any number of target creatures at the beginning of the next end step. Return those cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. Until your next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. That's good. That's like the One Ring coded a little bit with the birds. Does that give you indestructible for until your next turn? Create a token that's a copy of target Merfolk you control. Creatures target player control gain lifelink till end of turn. That's real good for just 3. And you get to choose 2. If target player draws a card, tap target creature, put a stun counter on it. Seems real good. And then we've got another art card. Ooh, that's cool. What is that? Celestial Reunion. Very nice. A lot of people are excited that we're returning to Lorwyn. This is actually my first time going to Lorwyn because I started playing Magic in like 2019 or 2020. So a lot of people are getting the nostalgia factor, and I get to discover this for the first time. The same character, just the new card, what's his name, Sig? That's a very cool. They've been using this for a lot of the promo. I do love this artwork. It's very good. I'm wondering if I should try and put together some big elf horns for the pre-release. But also, like, I'm going to be sitting at a table with other people trying to play Magic, and I don't want to, like, whack them when I'm turning my head. Ooh, Eclipsed Kithkin. Oh, that's kind of cool how the eyes are reflected. Or is that the base of those binoculars? Either way. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Kithkin, Forest, or Plains, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Personify. A Plains in a Duskmourn. Or not, I keep saying Duskmourn. It's Shadowmoor. I'm getting my spooky places mixed up. Glen Elendra Guardian. Fairy Wizard. Flying, this creature enters with a -1/-1 counter on it. Remove a counter from this creature. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller draws a card. That's real good for someone like me who loves to counter a spell. Oft-Nabbed Goat. This is the guy from Goat Napped. He's made his triumphant return. Draw a card. Gain control of this creature and put a -1/-1 counter on it. Only your opponents may activate this ability and only as a sorcery. Okay, so everyone's stealing this goat from each other. That's funny. When this creature dies, if it had 1 or more -1/-1 counters on it, its owner draws that many cards, and each other player loses that much life. Okay, so you can do it up to 5 times. There are 5 switcheroos that can happen. Ooh, Doran, Besieged by Time. I was threatening a Treefolk deck when Lord of the Rings dropped. I think a lot of those are just green Treefolk, but this is white, black, green, so that would give me access to more Treefolk if I decide I do want to do that this time around. Also, I love this art. This art goes hard. Each creature spell you cast with toughness greater than its power costs 1 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control attacks or blocks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the difference between its power and toughness. Okay, so this is it's minor math, but it's still a lot of math. Atticus is making Doran. I bet they can handle the math. Champion of the Path, Elemental Sorcerer. As an additional cost, behold an elemental and exile it. Whenever another elemental you control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. This is a big guy for 4 mana. Is 7/3. Seems like a big, strong punch. Ooh, here's the paper treatment I was talking about, where it looks kind of like paper stacked up. in a pop-up book kind of vibe here. That's gorgeous and very, very shiny. Night creatures you control have double strike. That's very shiny. You could blind somebody with that. Okay. A Japanese treatment of a card in the, what was it, the Shatter Foil? That's what it's called, in our very first pack. And then we got the Bastard Man, the goblin that everyone's talking about. We got one of him and his normal. Meek Attack was our Japanese foil. Voracious Tome Skimmer. Thought Weft Imbuer. A pretty island. Ooh, Steam Vents. We love a shock land, especially when it is so shiny. Village Pillagers. Wither. When this creature enters, it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. Whenever a creature an opponent controls with a counter on it dies, you create a tapped treasure token. That seems very good. And Wither deals damage and -1/-1 counters, right? That's what Massacre Girl does. Adept Water Shaper. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. That seems good. And if you have something that can tap things at instant speed to quick protect them, that's sick. Whoa, Soul Immolation. That art goes hard. As an additional cost to cast a spell, Blight X. X can't be greater than the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Soul Immolation deals X to each opponent and each creature they control. So it's a board wipe. And Winnowing. Ooh, lots of good shinies here. Convoke. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all other creatures they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature they control. So this punishes you for not playing a typal deck. That's kind of funny. The art in this set is so good. Speaking of, this is one that I like a lot. This is what card is this? Aura Awakener. It's a giant creature type, I believe. Usually I'm playing D&D at this time, but we're on a break. And we also take breaks when there's pre-releases, so that's why I get to go next week. And it's my birthday, so I don't think they can make me play D&D. They can't make me play D&D on my birthday if I want to play Magic. Though I have had D&D birthdays before. The Merfolk for the Merfolk deck. Or Elemental. Giant Mercenary. Omni Changeling, another silly little guy. Goat Nap. It's our friend we saw before. The goat who does not get to nap. Noggle the Mind. That's another silly name card. I'm glad the people working on this set are having fun. Love that for them. Lorwyn Imperfect Naturalist. When Lorwyn enters, milled 4 cards, and then you may put a creature or land card with among the milled cards on top of your library. And you can discard a land card, create a 1/1 black and green worm token for each land in your graveyard. Ooh. Another Tree Folk. When it enters, create a number of 1/1 green sapperling creature tokens equal to the number of counters among creatures target player controls, and then you can double the number. Just tap it, you could double. I suppose that's why he costs 7, but like that seems good. Abigail, Eloquent First Year. When Abigail enters, up to 1 other target creature loses all abilities. Put a flying counter, a first strike counter, a lifelink, and a lifelink counter on the creature. Ooh, Sunderflock. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value among elementals you control. He flies. When this creature enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to their owner's hands. There's a sea monster card that does this pretty much. Ooh, and Bridget's Command. Choose 2. Create a token that's a copy of target Kithkin you control. Target player creates a 1/1 green and white Kithkin. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 till end of turn. Target creature you control fights target creature and opponent controls. We got. Ooh, that's kind of spooky. I'm into that actually. Not like that. I vibe with the design of it. Don't be weird. All right. I don't do a whole lot of limited other than the pre-release. But if we draft this at the store, I might do it. Ooh, our Eclipsed Murrow. I like this art a lot. This is the one that finds a merfolk plains or island in the top 4. Oh, this is Oko and his sister. Don't be weird about it. That's his sister, who he says good girl to, but it's chill in the story. Don't be weird about it. Wander Brine Trapper. Here's the other little guy, the other little oof. Isn't he so cute? He's just a little guy. I love him so much. What does he actually do? I haven't actually looked. Hello, thank you for the follow. Thank you for showing up when I'm talking about brothers and sisters being weird. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. So this guy belongs in a Wooburg deck. I do love the little guys, and this is a little guy set. Got a mountain. Vibrance. I love this guy. It's a dog. I would kill or die for this dog. When this creature enters, if 2 is cost is spent to cast it, this creature deals 3 damage to any target. When it enters, if 2 green was spent to cast it, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So he either bites or he fetches. I love him. Springleaf Parade. When this enchantment enters, create X colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with changeling. Creature tokens you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. Seems good. Marlin, Fey Ascendant. When she or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among cards exiled with Marlin this turn without paying the mana cost. So there aren't really enough fairy cards to build your own fairy typal in this set, I believe, but this is how you still do it. Because you mash it with the elves. Bloodline Bidding. Choose a creature type. Return all creature cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's real good. And you can convoke it. So if you have a ton of, like, I don't know, vampire creature tokens that you could just tap into it. Scuzzback Scrounger. I like this little guy. He looks like he's scheming. He's found a rock and he's scheming. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1. If you do, create a treasure token. I like him. For being a goblin, I do still like him. Here she is! Here's the pretty elf. I love her. Got a goblin assassin. Runaway Together is making a comeback. I wonder how many different sets Runaway Together has been reprinted in. It seems like a lot. Bark of Doran. Seer. Illusion Spinners. A Fairy Wizard. For your fairy team-up deck. Swamp. Morning Tide's Light. Fun fact, this is the art I used in my announcement photo. I just zoomed it really far in. Exile any number of target creatures at the beginning of... Oh, we've read this one. We got this one in a pretty treatment. Were they smooching in that Runaway Together art? Let's look. We always have time to check to see if there's kisses. They look like they're about to share a smooch. But not quite. Like, there's not contact made yet. If I can... Yeah, they're about to share a smooch. You don't need to steal my dreams, my love. They are already yours. That was important. We needed to do that. It's been in 8 sets. Puka's Covenant. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it dies, you may return another target permanent with mana value less than or equal to the number of counters on that creature from your graveyard to your hand. Do this only once per turn. That seems pretty good. Especially in my other elemental deck where it's all counters all the time. This would be really, really powerful. Grub's Command. This is another kindred sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target goblin you control. Creatures target player controls gets +1/+1 and haste until end of turn. Destroy target artifact creature. Target player mills 5 cards, then puts each goblin card milled this way into their hand. That could be mean to mill other people that you know don't have any goblins. Or it's a good way to get goblins out your deck. Selfless Safe Right. When this creature enters, choose a creature type. Other permanents you control of that type gain hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. That's good. And I like that these expensive ones have Convoke. Especially in elves where you're supposed to be making a lot of elf tokens. It makes it easy to pay for this. And another... Did we pull one of these? Akin Binding? Creatures you control get +X where X is the number of creatures that enter the battlefield under your control this turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a green and white Kithkin creature token. A shiny. We love a shiny. And is that one the last one? Yep, we got a Merfolk and a silly little guy. Okay. Auntie Sentence, Tend the Sprigs. Another shapeshifter. This guy is less little guy coded, but we still like him. Warren Torchmaster. Prisma Basher. We've got our big green stompies for this deck. Or for this set. Another Sunderflock in the normal treatment. When this creature enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls. You gain 3 life. That seems expensive for a kill spell. I guess the Encore is good, but I don't know, that seems expensive. But it is a creature. It's not just a kill spell, it's a creature. So that's not too bad, actually, now that I'm thinking about it a little. Once I use my noggin a little. Each non-creature spell you cast has Conspire. I'm not sure what Conspire is, so I'm going to Google it real quick. Conspire allows the spell to be cast to be copied if you tap 2 untapped creatures that share a color with that spell. Okay, double creatures for the cost of just tapping creatures. That seems pretty good. Champions of the Perfect. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold an elf and exile it. When you cast a creature spell, draw a card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. It's an old thing? Okay, so there. That's gorgeous. Harmonized Crescendo. Me and who? Just out there singing in the pool. Convoke. Choose a creature type. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. That's so pretty. I love that. We've got 2 of this gorgeous, gorgeous Japanese treatment. The Japanese Showcase. That's really pretty. I think all the Japanese Showcase are sought after. Scarecrow. Slowing down a little bit because I'm doing the thing where I talk too fast and I forget to breathe. Our Elemental Scout. I love this little guy. He's just fun. He's just like, he's going on an adventure with a big old box on his back. Moonlit Lamenter. Ooh, another pretty island. Figures of Fable. Oh, hang on. You take a deep breath before I read all this. Okay. This creature becomes a Kithkin Scout with base power and toughness 2/3 for one of your choosing. If this creature is a scout, it becomes a Kithkin soldier with base power and toughness 4/5. Ooh, I don't. If you saw that, no, you didn't. If this creature becomes a soldier, if this creature is a soldier. Okay, so it's like it's leveling up, kind of. You start as a scout, then you can become a soldier, and then you can become a Kithkin avatar with base power and toughness 7/8 and protection from each of your opponents. That seems really good. Protection from like whole ass opponents. I like the sound of that. Belonging. Look at this guy. He's this cryptid coded fella. I love him. When it enters, create 3 colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with Changeling. Ooh, that's what I saw the corner of before and wasn't sure what kind of goodness we were in store for. First strike, lifelink. When this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. And then I'm trying to see, do we still got... Ooh, Glenlendra's Answer. The spell can't be countered. I love that when I'm casting it. Counter all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. Create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying for each spell and ability countered this way. So that's interesting. So with this, you need like a couple of different things on the stack already, and then you put this on top because you want it to be you want it to counter multiple things, or which that could be good. That could be fun. That could be really annoying. I can work with this. This can also go in the Misty Stepper, which is a changeling shapeshifter counter mono blue toxic mess. But I love it. And we got an Ashling Rekindle. This is the other Ashling. We pulled the Wooburg one before. This is the other one. Very beautiful. When this creature enters or transforms into Ashling Rekindled, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a blue. If you do, transform. Don't look at that yet. Then Ashling Rhymebound. When this creature transforms into Ashling Rhymebound, and at the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast spells with mana value 4 or greater. And then you can transform back. Isn't that gorgeous? Ashling's so cool. And here's our art card. This is, what's it called? Sunderflock. And we're down to, unless something fell, I don't think it did, so this is our last pack. Last pack magic. Bless it for me, chat. Okay, here we go. Our final pack. Another shapeshifter. The play box I opened earlier. I might have already put them all away. I had all of the shapeshifters pulled at one point from the set, like one of each. But I think I put them away, unfortunately. Sour Bread Auntie. Good set for aunties. Ooh, a nice cheap counterspell. We stand. A forest. Disruptor of Currents. Convoke. When this creature enters, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Seems a little expensive for what it does, but what do I know? I'm just a worm. Wickersmith Tools. When 1 or more -1/-1 counters are put on a creature, put a charge counter on this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color for tap, and sacrifice this artifact. Create X tapped 2/2 colorless scarecrow artifact creatures where X is the number of charge counters on this artifact. So this is a blight card. That could be fun. I do want to play with the blight. Ooh, Formidable Speaker. When this card enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and then shuffle. That seems real good. Untap another target permanent. So it's a tutor for a creature, and it untaps other things. Champions of the Shoal. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a merfolk and exile it. When this creature enters or becomes tapped, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. I do love a good stun counter. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. And then are we down to like the final ones here? She's pretty. Good final card. That's our final card, yeah? Good final card. And we get our pretty elf. Selfless Safe Right. She's cool. Flash, Convoke. When this creature enters, choose a creature type. Oh, this is the one where it gives everything. Hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. Love her. And she's putting in the work. She's got these like low-key looking kind of horns. Love her. And a big old sword. We stan. We stan a woman with a big old sword. Is that? I'm claiming her for the girls. We stan this woman with a big old sword. So I've gone from owning 0 Japanese showcase cards before the stream to now owning 3 in a couple of different colors. And then we got a couple of the shock. Let me pull out some of the good we got. Okay, so we've got the steam vents. Ooh, we've got this stacked paper treatment of the Kinsbale Cavalier. That was very cool. The Bastard Man. I don't know if Wizard of the Coast will like me calling him that, but it's reminding me of, I forget if it's Harrison Ford and he's being shown, I think, Star Wars images, and he shows him one, or I think it's like Kylo Ren when he's little, and he's like, sweet man, little guy, baby, and then they show him another, and he's like, evil. So that's my response to seeing him, evil bastard man. But yes, okay, we've got our hallowed fountain, a steam vent, and a blood crypt for Shocklands. We've got some really cool stuff. That is what I've got for you today. We have opened a collector's box of Lorwyn, which is coming out in 1 week from today, actually, is the pre-release and also my birthday. The Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering website, there's a way to look up and see if there are game stores near you that are having these events. So if you want to participate in person, you can do that. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to dress up. I'm not going to do well, but I'm going to look good. So I'm very happy that this set is here. I've been looking forward to the set for a very long time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and opening these packs, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys.